everybody. Oh wait, your video not available. Turn video.
Hey.
Hey. How y'all doing?
All right, how you?
Good.
Hey.
The video to show.
What's Tiff at? She's talking about a hat. I thought it was gonna be a hat kind of day.
Look, I just had to throw on this guy.
They give us the wear hat.
Looking out. Hey y'all.
Hey.
Hey.
Got on a hat and out of uniform.
Oh, see, I got my uniform on. Let's see. See? Don't have my hat, but hey. Listen, ladies, you are on tonight, and I know you are. Make sure you share the live. Make sure you start a watch party. Tell your girls we have some girl chat coming on tonight. As you can see, we have some special guests on tonight. So we will give you a couple minutes, and you can just make sure you share the live.
Wait.
And if you are a man on here, I'll see some men jumping on, one being my husband. Please jump off, because this is a girl chat and we talk about girl things. And I know Pastor was scarred a little bit when he came on one time. We were talking about C-cups and all that stuff. He was like, what is going on? Hey, you shouldn't have jumped on our live. But hey, so men, if you are on here, you know, and if you're married, put your wives on here and you just jump off. All right. So we'll give you a couple more minutes. I know we have some ladies I saw over there on YouTube. So hello, ladies on YouTube. Let's see. Good evening. I'm excited and ready for this chat. I know it will be good. Angel, it will be good. This is Angel from off of YouTube. So come on in, share it. I want to get started in maybe a couple minutes. And so we have a good chat, a great chat. We missed last week, but we should have been celebrating Juneteenth on last week. So share with us. We asked you to share with us last week some of the things that you did to celebrate Juneteenth. If you haven't done that, make sure you go and, you know, tag us in what you did, you know, for Juneteenth. Okay. So let's see. So again, how y'all ladies doing on this call?
All right. How you?
Oh, well.
It's been a long day. Been working all day, but hey, God is good, and He's good all the time. Yeah, He is. Yeah. Miss Karen.
Yes.
I can't see you.
Trying. We're working on it.
Okay. Just want to make sure we can see you. All right. So, while we are waiting for the ladies to get on, what's something good that you guys did today?
Oh, wait.
Hey, I checked off so many things on my checklist. So adjusting to 2 kids now, checking things off my checklist is a win-win for me. So, and today is my mom's birthday, so I got to celebrate her today and get some things done with her. So happy birthday, mommy. Yeah. So today was a good day for me.
That's good. Checking off your list. I like lists. I got lists. Sometimes you get lists and you don't get to check it off
at all.
And then you put it to the next day, and then it becomes a week, and then a month. But it's still on that list. I got some stuff on my list like that's just been checked off, and not checked off, but pushed off to months. Move. Still know I got to do it. You know. What's something else you guys have done? Somebody else. What have you done good today?
I made a pound cake.
Okay.
To be over at the line.
Said he was chilling with the pound cakes.
Oh. Y'all just stretch your hands towards me and pray. I need deliverance.
Come on. What you need deliverance from?
How to do it.
You don't need to be sitting around eating.
You breaking up.
Oh.
You don't need to be doing it. Just
Wow.
sit around. Am I breaking up?
You breaking up and your video is frozen.
Oh. Let me do a cake. Let me.
Well, let's see. We got. Oh, Okay. So we have a lot of people watching on here. So say hi, say where you're watching from, share, as I said, with your friends, start a watch party, and let's get started. So 2 weeks ago, we talked about from Ms. to Mrs. And it was a very interesting chat, I believe. If you believe it was an interesting chat, let us know it was an interesting chat. Well, we didn't get to half of anything that we wanted to talk about because, when we talk as girls, you have all these things maybe on your list. Maybe we had probably like 20 things to discuss, and 5 things took 2 hours to discuss. So it's like, okay, but we have things to discuss just in case, it's a yes and no answer, which with girls is normally not a yes and no answer. We got to run the rabbit trail. Men sometimes are sharp and to the point. They want a yes or no. I want to know what color did she have on when she came around the corner and what was she wearing. They just want to know if she got home or whatever. But see, that's how our girl chats are. We have a million things to discuss. We get to 5 things. So I pulled out my list and I said, hey, we're going to discuss the rest. Well, as much of the rest of the stuff as we can discuss tonight, we will discuss. So before we get into that, we always start with our selfies. So let's take a selfie. As I say, I take one every week and I never post it, but I'm here. I'm here on the chat. So take a selfie and let us know you were here. And then after the live, you can post it on our Facebook page. Look at Brandy. She got that little smile on. Come on. Serena is anniversary cute. Come on.
Yeah.
Serena was ready for tonight. We're gonna struggle.
Okay.
So take your selfies. I'm looking here.
Oh, I got surfing background.
Okay, some of these stuff I don't know. Nick.
My
Hi, Nick. Bye, Nick.
Wow.
Okay, so we have some special guests on tonight. Okay, and so I do see that 2 of them are not social distancing, but it's okay.
We got a business. We work together. This is my coworker.
So I'm gonna start with Team Shenanigans. Team Shenanigans, they produce some awesome things. I know for me, we got a lot of t-shirts. My t-shirt that I had on last week for Juneteenth, they did it. And the t-shirt I had on when we did those marches, they did it. The Black Lives Matter with the silver fist. So we have Team Shenanigans. We have Courtney and Latrina. So I want you to show Courtney and Latrina some love, even though they're not social distancing. They work together all the time. So it's okay. I just want to
we social distance together.
Right, social distance together. Okay, I get it. I love it. And so I'm gonna tell you this. They are 2 of our most faithful people that are on every week. And it was so funny because when we had our tea party, virtual tea party, they put a picture up and they had a little tea set and they really did it up. I was like, oh my goodness, that is so cute. They are some of our most faithful watchers. They are on their what we call them, our comment gang. So they are on there making comments there. So we said, hey, let's bring them on. We want to hear what they have to say in person instead of via the comment section. Okay. And so we have Team Shenanigans. All right. And so next we have Kia. And so Kia, can you kind of wave your hand? Kia, as she said, she is, how long you been married, Kia?
This will be our 4th year.
4th year, and she has 2 babies. She just she got a brand new baby, okay? And so we wanted to bring her on to kind of give maybe a perspective of, she hasn't been married that long, so she can give us kind of a single perspective, maybe what she thought before and what she's experiencing now. So I'm kind of putting you on the spot. That's kind of what I'm going to be asking you, So that's what, let me write that down. I got my notebook, always writing down. And then we have, where did she go? She's gone. But when she comes back, I'll let you know who she is. All right. So let's start with tonight. And so you know the team. Oh no, there she is. You know what? I'm looking to the right. Sharetta is on my bottom right now. She was on the top right.
Yeah, she
Everybody
switched.
switching around.
I had to move locations.
She had to move, so she kind of threw me off. But we have Miss Karen Fletcher on here tonight as well. So I know she's on here and she's making comments and, you know, doing different things. And so we have her on. She has a different perspective than even any of us have on the call. So as you can see, I won't tell anybody's age, but we have a mixture of ages on tonight. We have married, unmarried, you know, we have everybody on tonight, and we want to kind of get a perspective for this girl chat from Miss to Mrs. So I want to start, like I said, I'm gonna start with Kia. I'll just start this, and it's not even in my million questions that I have. And see, this is where we go off. We have the million questions, and then something else pops up, and we just end up talking about it all night. But listen, okay. So anyway, Kia.
Mhm.
So being married 4 years, you are recently married. You haven't been in the game as long as some of us on the call have been.
Right.
So you know, still you remember what it was like to be single without children.
Yeah.
And now you see what it is like to be married with children. What have you learned from singleness to being married in these 4 years? Yeah, something you can share, like almost like, girl, I wish I would have knew this before I got married. I would have been better off. Or what is some insight that you can give us tonight?
I didn't, when I considered myself to be seriously dating, I didn't date that many people. So prior to me being married to Trey, I dated one other person in a serious manner. So I didn't have a long, lengthy singleness period of a serious single. I mean, you have your boyfriends in like middle school and stuff, but that doesn't really count. But I've learned to be more selfless, I think. If I would have, I'm an only child, so I'm used to things going my way or the highway. Whatever I say goes, not really caring about other people's, I don't want to say feelings, that sounds so bad. Not really caring about other people's feelings. It was kind of like, if it's not serving Kia, then what is it? So being married now, that has really changed a lot for me, especially with 2 young children. Will change that quickly because it's not about you at all.
Right.
Not even at Christmas with your family, about these kids.
Right.
But,
Big gifts.
right. But my mom still gives me gifts. She loves me. Thank you, Mom. But I learned to be more selfless since being married and taking more into consideration another person's feelings than that. But something that I would have did before getting married would be like, make sure that I'm established in my career so that I can fully enjoy the fruits of my marriage, if that makes sense.
That's good. You know your husband on here, right? Talking about some, hey, baby.
Hey, baby. Okay.
Now you right in the next room, right? He talking about some, hey, baby. That's what they do. Hey, baby, you right in the next room. Give me when
you're gonna see me when this is over.
But you brought up something good. You brought up being established in your career. So one of the questions that we had was, how do you? I'm looking for it. I just saw it. Y'all help me out here. I'm looking for the question on the career and the woman. You know, this might be one. How do you keep your identity intact with the many responsibilities that come with being a wife and a mom?
Is that for me?
Yeah, you can do it again. Other people can.
So, but I did not get married until I achieved my first degree. So Trey actually proposed to me at my graduation. And I had just got my bachelor's degree, and I thought that I was going to go into a certain career, and I didn't go that way. And so I did have a little bit of regret about it, but I think that you just have to hold yourself accountable first and foremost for the things that you want for yourself. And having a partner that is your partner and partners with you on your vision for yourself is very helpful. So I am in school now, and my husband just finished he was in school, I'm in school. We kind of have a plan. But I would just say you have to hold yourself accountable to what you want for yourself. You can't blame it on anybody else, it's on you. So as far as your identity, you have to just be a little bit more intentional. Like I have to be more intentional about spending time with my friends or doing things that I did prior to being in a marriage. I have to be more intentional about the things that Kia wants to do by herself, for herself. So it's about being intentional and being accountable.
Somebody else jump in.
I would definitely agree with that. Being is how, because it seems like you can get swept up in the whole marriage deal, right? You know, we do everything together. We can become bookends, right? And sometimes I think it becomes uncool if you're not, because when he met you, you was a fun girl, right? You did all this cool stuff. And then now you just like, I can't do nothing without you. I can't breathe. Where you going? I'm going. You're like, all right, come on now. So I think that helps you maintain your identity. Still doing things that you like. If you were a girl that, you know, like me, I told you I done did everything. Book clubs, made jewelry, did this, did that. You know, now I'm making pound cakes. You know, just still do what you know, still be intentional about that I have my me time. I still hang out with my friends. I still, you know, kick it with my family and do things that I love to do. Because if not, then you'll be sitting somewhere like, man, or if he has somewhere to go and he has something to do, you won't have anything, that you'll be sitting somewhere looking sad. So, you know, you don't want to do that.
Okay. When it comes to marriage, you are two individuals that get married. I'm still an individual. I am still Karen Teresa and Mrs. Fletcher. And so I still like my things. I can remember before I got married, my mother always have, well, the thing was every 2 weeks I got my hair done. Every 2 weeks you could set a clock on it. And so when I got married, she said, make sure every 2 weeks you still get your hair done. She said, I don't care what happens. She said, that might be your only me time. And I didn't get it then. But guess what? Every 2 weeks, I got my hair done. And then she said, you know, you're an individual. And I made sure my daughter know and my son know you're an individual. So outside of Mrs. Fletcher, I'm Karen. And I do this and I do that. And my husband supports me outside of Mrs. Fletcher being Karen. And so it's important that your mate supports you being who you are outside of Mrs. whatever your last name.
So basically what we're saying here is find out who you are before you merge with somebody else. Exactly. Not just find out who you are, but stay true to who you are and before you merge with somebody else. So Courtney and Latrina, being that you're unmarried at the present time, I'm not going to say you're going to always be unmarried, because if you want to be married, you be married. But what are some things that you would want to do, or what are some things, do you know who you are?
Yes.
Before you get married, before you say you were in the running to get married, okay? What are some things that you would want to do or accomplish before you say I do?
I often joke like I'm not married because I wasn't ready to be married. Mm-hmm. I think that learning yourself is the biggest thing. Even I learn something new about myself every day, even now, but it's growing with that learning process. To say something that I would want to do now before I get married, I can't put my finger on one thing that I say I need to do this and then I'll be ready for marriage. I think it's a continual growth process, and I'm growing. I'm not gonna say I'm not a selfish person, but I like to do what I like to do at the same time. So being ready to compromise if I gotta go here with my spouse or do this. But I feel like being a single mother, I already have to be selfless. So adding somebody else into that mix, I got to be ready for that.
And Cameron has to be ready for that too.
That's a whole nother story.
But you know what? It's something with like you said, with single mothers. So if you're a single mother and you're looking to be married, it's not just you looking for somebody. You almost have to interview or find somebody for your children, or that'll treat your children, you know, a certain way. So it's like a double thing. So hey, you ain't just looking for you looking for your son too.
Yes.
So Courtney, what about you?
As for me, the bigger things, I think on my initial list, I think I've accomplished like education and stuff like that. Like the material things, I think I've already accomplished those things. But in terms of like more characteristics, like I think I need to work on my patience before I could become married, because we'll be fighting. And,
I need some girls to clap.
But like I know that I struggle with like being patient and that whole repeating yourself piece. So I know I will have to like work on that a little bit more before I can say that I'm ready to get married. I'm almost there, not there yet. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing I would say.
Now, one thing that I know we teach with married life is when you get married, your spouse is that person that's designed to pull you out of impatience, pull you out of selfishness, and all of that other stuff. So you can work on it, you know, on your own, but somebody else has to pull that out of you. So if you say, hey, I still haven't got this patience piece down, will you let that stop you from marriage?
No, I know. I just know it will be more work. But I don't think if it's the right one, if I know that that's who I'm supposed to be married to, I wouldn't stop. I wouldn't let that be the deciding factor. Like, oh no, girl, you can't get married because you're not patient. No.
And you might marry somebody who don't even try your patience, child.
That's what I need. And that can cook. Them two things.
You have to make ask the Lord directly what you need.
Be specific. Right. And you know what? I listening to you saying you're not ready with patience. You know, the right one, you'll have patience with. The right one, it'll just work out for you. But it's developing. You're always developing. You never reach it. Finally, I thought I knew my husband. I thought I was, and something changed. I'm like, who is this? So it's always developing. You're always developing. Even in your singleness, you're always developing.
That's okay. So you talked about a list, Courtney. So my next question would be, what qualities should you look for or in a mate, or what qualities are you looking for in a mate?
Oh, I don't have that list anymore. My last serious relationship defied that entire list. But like, he was wonderful, but it was nothing on my list, and I was laughing at God because I'm like, "Oh, you funny," but he was nothing off my list. But he was amazing. So, but yeah, amazing. We gon' fight. We gon' fight.
So okay. So should people throw the list out?
I would say don't, but I'm not married, but I would say don't hold too tight to that list. I mean, like, some stuff you can't compromise on, like, do he love the Lord, like that kind of stuff, but like all of the physical stuff and all of that, like, I'm not holding on to it as tight. Not to say I'm settling, but not to say I'm holding on that list as tight.
Okay, ladies on this call, did you have a list and did your husband or your boyfriend, your present boyfriend, meet the list?
I had, so I was super young, so it was different. I definitely had a list and he met most of it, but our biggest problem is I held on to the list even after we were married, and I kept trying to like push him into this list.
Oh.
Right. And I'm just like, okay, Brandy, at some point, and it's funny, you know, in Winning Wives, one of the things we talked about was, okay, are you trying to make him the man you want him to be, or are you going to let him be the man that God wants him to be? And I was just like, well, okay, then fine. And I think, like Courtney said, I think you can have that list. Of course, you know, we all kind of have our type, whatever that means. But I think at some point, if you're open and you let yourself be open, you may find somebody who's amazing. Like she said, amazing and nothing on that list. And like, if you were holding on to that list, you might not have had that time with that person at all. So not only do you need to not, you know, hold on to that list too hard, but like, don't do like me, where even after you're married, you're still like, okay, come on, you're supposed to be doing this right here because this is on my list. Like, you can't do that.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree. My list wasn't like extensive, but I did not marry anything on the list that I had. So I think I was like, okay, Lord, you know, tall and like, you know, short hair, like, you know, I married somebody that had locks and we're the same height. And it was like some other little stuff too. And like Courtney said, you know, God is like, oh, okay, you funny guy. Like, because I had no idea that I would meet my husband on my way to school, hopping on his bus. Like, you couldn't have told me that at all. And that's how we met. So I think definitely, like Randy said, you have to be open. You can't be so rigid that, you know, you're blind to what God has, what he may have right in front of you, because you're trying to stick so much to the list and all these things that you are expecting. At the same time, I think it's okay to have standards and to have, you know, certain things and qualities, especially that you are looking for in a mate. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, definitely be open to what God is showing you. And like Pastor Linda mentioned as well, like our spouses are there to push us through and pull certain qualities out of us as well. So be willing and open to grow with someone as well.
So this list, where does the list come from? When you think about the grand scheme of things, you think about your list, what you've had on this, because everybody has a list. What you had on the list, where did it come from? Did it come from fairy tales? Did it come from the TV? Or did it come from what other people think or what you think other people think?
I think the list initially starts when you're young and you have this in your mind, what's a trap? I think that's where the list initially starts from. Girl, he gotta be tall, light skin, good hair. He gotta sing like this. And I mean, we all, you know, we're young, we have that. Then we start to get a little older and you're like, oh, well, I kind of like this. You start to take little pieces from here and there. And that's how we compile this list. And I just think it starts when we're young. You know, he has to look a certain type of way. Then we get past that, because we might have dated somebody that looked that way, but they were jerks. So then we guess, well, he gotta look like that, but he gotta have these type of personality things. And then we can start getting into, as we get older, we start to go, well, you know, I need him to have this type of money and I need him to do this and do that. And we start adding to the list.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, and I think I've said this at some of our women's meetings. I had a list, and my list, with the physical part of my list, okay, you know, I'm short. I'm 5 feet, okay? And so sometimes short people on their list, they want tall people.
Because he can reach stuff.
Maybe because he can reach stuff. And I don't know where it came from. I wanted somebody tall and dark and skinny. And so, yeah, I was like, okay, I think the opposite of that, you know, but it's good for me, you know? So, but I think, like somebody said, if you hold on to that list, I think Brandy said it, you hold on to that list, you can miss what God has for you, because we have some, I know it could have been fairy tales, because I love fairy tales. I love Cinderella and all of that stuff, but it could have been, that's where my list could have come from. But you know, I got a fairy tale in another way. I didn't get that fairy tale, but yeah, my list was totally shot, you know, so I could have been laughing at God too, like, really? I put this, and this. They tell you to be specific. I put this, and this, and I didn't get this, and this. But I don't think I need it. I know I didn't need this, and this. Okay. So just when we're making these lists, I think Sharetta said it's okay to have standards, which is true. It's okay to have standards, but we have to know almost where to draw the line with, you know, deal breakers or not. You know, yeah, it's not a deal breaker that he's not tall, dark, and skinny. That's not a deal breaker. But the deal breaker is he hit me every now and then. That's a deal breaker for me. You know. So what are some other deal breakers that you have? Whether you your team shenanigans, you jump in, you know, what are some deal breakers you have? And then Kia, what was a deal breaker you had, you know, before you got married? Like, if he had done this, we wouldn't be here today.
My list, it was, I get married young. I'm still young. I get married when I was 23. So my list was more so at first physical and stuff. And then it did turn to more, what are some things that I need? Like, can you provide financial stability? And other moral characteristics. And I had like a fairy tale idea of what I thought my husband could be too. Some deal breakers for me were faith. We need to be of the same faith. That was you can't, I'm not converting nobody. I'm sorry. That was not my calling. We in it together, babe. I don't know.
It's not that hard.
You cannot be abusive. Huh? You cannot be abusive, of course, and you need to be faithful. Faithfulness was definitely a deal breaker for me. If you were a liar, we cannot be together. The faithfulness part was really big for me. So yeah.
Okay.
That was a major deal breaker for me. Faithfulness.
Okay.
Those are good. I agree with all of those, especially the lying piece. Ooh.
Who has the time?
That's a problem.
So how will you know he lying? You know, sometimes
liars always get caught.
But sometimes
like,
you got those slick ones that they know how to play the game. They know how to do what they got to do until they get you. And then when they got you, that's when the liar comes out, or that's when the cheater comes out, or that's when the beater comes out. I mean, once they got you, then you hooked. You know, not saying
I think this is just my, you know, y'all don't browbeat me. I think women blow past things. You know when somebody is lying, somebody's not being integral. Listen, if that joker was meaner than a Billy Goat when you met him, you marry him.
Still be mean.
You're not confused.
Exactly.
He was a little bit of Ike then. He gonna be a big Ike then.
Did you say a little Ike?
He being Ike in training.
The little Ike. Remember when Kay used to tell us, like, you know, if you had that little and it makes you like question something, even if it's the smallest hint, like dig deep into figuring out what that really is. Because it's something.
But you find like, even because I feel like I mean, some people do, you may mess up. It's just deciding on, is this something that I can forgive and live with? Establishing what is cheating in your relationship, because we're in a different age of dating now. So like, we're on social media. That's a big part of dating. If you heart somebody's status that I don't like, is that cheating? If you heart half naked pictures, is that cheating? You may not be with no girl. It may be a social media thing. So it's levels that you have. These are conversations that you have to have. What is cheating? What is lying?
Yeah, that's definitely key. Having those expectations up front. And having that tough conversation, like, especially like you said, Kia, with the way things are looking now with social media, but just in general, like definitely have those conversations up front and set expectations for each other up front.
Because I think it's cheating if Trey watch Insecure without me. Like, that's our show. Because I'll be Baby Ike and you'll be Tina.
You're fine.
Now, Kamika, I'm sorry. Kamika said, God will show you the signs. We just ignore the red flags.
I agree.
So true.
That is true. That's because I love him.
Mhm.
So we ignore those signs because the signs could be like blinking, the light blinking. You know that Krispy Kreme light that comes on when you know they hot. When you go past that Krispy Kreme, you know that those are hot donuts. That's what a sign is. You go past that sign. Now, if I go past that Krispy Kreme sign, I'm not gonna get no hot donuts. If I ignore the signs, the flashing signs, I'm gonna get something else in that relationship. But that's what we do because I love him. That's why we do it.
But do you love him more than your Holy Spirit, and you love yourself?
Say that again.
I said, do you love him more than the Holy Spirit and more than you love yourself? Are you willing to neglect what the Holy Spirit is trying to show you just because you feel like what you believe is more true than what he is trying to tell you?
That's good.
So that means you got to have a relationship with the Holy Spirit in order to hear him and to know the signs that he's showing us. Everything comes back to, as believers, having a relationship with God. Before we can have a true relationship with another man, we need to have a true relationship with the man. You know?
Most definitely.
What's that? Who missing?
I said most definitely.
Oh, okay. I see it's too many screens on here and I can't yeah. But so in these types of relationships, when you're looking to get married, I'll ask Courtney and Latrina, how soon do you talk about your boundaries, like abstinence or whatever your boundaries are? How soon when you're in this developing relationship, do you talk about those boundaries?
Instantly.
Oh.
First date.
Immediately.
First date. No point wasting time. Yeah. Weed them out.
Okay.
Weed them out. Let them go ghost or I go ghost. We decide what we gonna do. Instantly. First date. We in it. This where I stand. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I'm not gonna do in terms of like boundaries wise. Not like I ain't gonna cook for you, stuff like that. I mean, like, y'all see I got an issue with cooking, right?
Right.
But I mean like real like boundaries, like abstinence, like dating, like what's the expectation with dating, like in the gate. We talking about this because there's no point in wasting time.
I agree with Courtney. Like, I mean, I'm not married, but I'm dating, and those were conversations that we had on the first date. Like Courtney said, like, let's figure this out now. We have no time to waste. If I'm intentional about this thing, then I need to be intentional about every interaction I'm about to have. So are you with it or no? Because I can, go on. And so those were conversations that me and my boyfriend had day one. Like, and it wasn't awkward. Like, it just flowed naturally, but it was important to talk about then.
And I honestly feel like that's the best time, like the first couple of dates and all of that stuff. Like, I feel like that's the best time to just throw all your cards on the table, get it all out.
Right.
Because
Before you get
I
invested.
like that anyway. So
Right.
if we stop talking, it's such as life, right?
Right. You done. Next.
I'm not doing this. I'm not going here. This is what I expect. Get it all out. And like, oh, you gonna scam away? No, bro, we ain't got time.
If they scare you away, they probably supposed to be here.
Right, exactly.
Well, I think the times are different now. So I got married in 1995, so it'll be 25 years this year. And on our first date, we didn't talk about none of that stuff. I think we talked about it towards the I do even half of it we still didn't talk about. Because we teach too about talking back to birth. I believe if people start those transitions before, or even talk yourself back to birth, find out what you were put on the earth to do, and be healed from the things that happened in your past, will be much better off, in marriage. So I love how you get right to the point and say, hey, this is this, this is this, this is this. I think back 25 years ago, it was like assumed that, if you touch me a certain way, we ain't doing that, or I think sometimes it had got to the point where, we were at home, my mom, wasn't home, and we were, he was dropping me off from choir rehearsal or whatever. Hey, you want to come in? Oh, sure, come in. And then he tried to attack me. No, I'm just playing. He always tell the story the opposite way, so I said I was gonna get him. But certain things, it's like, hey, it's almost like if you're willing, I'm willing. And we were saved, but we didn't say, we didn't talk boundaries specifically right then and there, but we set them, by stopping whatever the enemy was trying to get us to do. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't talk about it. So it was like an assumed type of thing. So I really like that you get right to the point, because like you said, you don't have time to waste. I get back, I'm a month into you, or we a month dating, and I found out that you then catfish me, and I can't do that. Did y'all see the news about the guy? I think he was 18 years old.
Killed the woman?
Catfish, yes. Mm-hmm. And he killed her. I'm like, we just talked about this, a couple of weeks ago. That's something. So is that something that you would ask? Are you a woman or a man? Is that something that you would have to ask on the first date?
I think in these times you need to.
In 2020, you got to be sure.
Yeah, you need to check.
Because a lot of people are, you really can't tell.
Well, my friend, she's single, and she's like, and you have to like remix the question. Like, are you married? Does someone think they're married to you? Does someone? I'm just like, wait, what? And she's like, listen, you have to ask the same question like 5 different times because people lie. And I'm just like, wow, like.
Wow. Because in my mind, I'm not married.
Right. But does she think you married? Because I need to know how many people think you might be married. Right.
Living with someone living with you, you gotta know, because people think that's a relationship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like you say, Trina, do you have a roommate?
Yes.
Yes. That's a great question.
Do you have some cousins that really ain't your cousins?
Your play
cousin. You intimate with any of you people.
Right. Who calling you bro? Yeah. Listen, y'all. Okay, so my mama on here and my mother-in-law, and so they talking back and forth in this chat about, did you hear that? And she was like, yeah, I hear that. But see, I didn't hear it because I'm grown now. But that's what happens when you on these chats and you're vulnerable and you're open and transparent, and then your parents got to be on here with you.
Y'all in trouble. Weekend.
No, but we've said this before. We've shared this before, so it's not like this the first time. So with these relationships, everybody didn't answer me what I said about the whole catfish thing. Do y'all think really that first you wouldn't know that you're being catfished?
He didn't.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he had the Holy Ghost.
Have you seen some this sounds
I'm like,
some of these people though, like you cannot tell sometimes. You really can't tell. It's 2020. Makeup is really high and heavy. Okay.
Plastic surgery.
They be
genital changes.
Be contouring.
No, I've seen like drag and contour and look like they have a chest and they have no chest.
True.
If you feel like you need to ask in a nice way.
So how do you ask?
Were you
Ask
born?
those
Were you
questions like
born
Brandy
a
said.
boy
I was like, you
or
know,
a
you're
girl?
really beautiful. Have you ever? Were you ever?
Can I see your birth certificate? So
What were you
I
born
can see your
as?
birth
You can
certificate.
falsify a birth certificate.
Right. Can I see a
Let me know
baby
if you
picture?
want
I need to see a
Baby
baby
picture.
picture.
A baby picture,
That's
right? But she said, Sharetta said, "Were you born a woman or a man?"
That's
That's how you gotta get.
That's the
get
question.
to-
That, you know what? I even feel funny talking about this, but it's things that we have to talk about because you don't want to be catfish. But that just made me think about the boy. I think he just graduate from high school and just killed. But the way he did it was like, yeah,
He went back
she's already
twice, right?
dead. Then he came back. I'm like, okay, she already dead. Yeah, he was like, you should have did this to me, and then come back. Yeah. I'm like, wow, I don't know what they was doing or what they was into, but he was really broken up by that.
37. He was 18.
Yeah, that's wow. And now he's spending time in jail for that. That's wow. So that's a question.
Yanni put in the question. She put in the comments. She said you need to ask the people: are you Facebook single or single?
Right.
There's a difference.
big difference.
There's a difference.
Facebook single and regular single.
There is a-
Because and this is the question I have. So if you are in a relationship with someone and you post them on your page, but they never ever post you on their page, is that a red flag or is that just keeping your business private?
I say no. The only reason why I say no is because it depends on if that person is heavily like on social media heavy. Like for me and Trey, at first Trey was not on social media heavy when we first started dating, and we didn't post each other. First of all, I'm not posting you if you're not posting me. That's just that on that. We're gonna keep things balanced over here.
Let's start there.
So I'm gonna give you the energy you give me. So when he posts me, I'm like, okay, I'll wait. He always talks about, he like, you ain't post our picture. And I'm like, let me post our picture after he posts me, because that's just my thing. I'm gonna give you what you give me, but let me be sure about it, because that was just me at the time. But at first when he wasn't on Facebook or Instagram heavy like that, it wasn't a big deal about posting. But like if he's a man that posts things all day, every day, Kobe Bryant this, such and such this, I'm gonna post my sis, my bro, and himself all day long, and he can't post you, and y'all been together, taking pictures together.
That's a problem.
Maybe he got another girl or man, whoever. I'm just saying.
And you post a picture and you tag him, and he don't.
And he never approves it, right?
Y'all not together, sis. Y'all let that go.
No.
This is different for me. This is truly different from me and my group. They might post. My husband is not on social media, and I know a lot of people my age. So this is definitely youngins thing. It is not.
And that's
not our thing.
That's what I was going to ask. Before social media, what would that look like?
Okay, now what would what look like?
About like almost like what she's saying. So it's not about him posting or not posting, but
he claiming you,
holding hands with you, or affection in public, or what is that?
Yeah. I wanted him to walk by me. I would go in the store. I would go in a store, and I'd walk away. I'd run away to see if he would come and try to find me and try to grab my hand or something. I wanted to see that. And so we didn't have social media, but we had social media because I was definitely social. And I would walk away and I would laugh. Where is he? I'd get an eye shot. And sure enough, here he comes. Like he's claiming she belongs with me. I would do that quite often. Yep.
So I think it's little stuff like, if y'all been together 6-8 months, have you met any friends? Have you met any family?
Yeah.
That goes back to that. Okay, are you private or are you secret? It's a fine line between the two.
Do you have friends or am I your all in all?
Right, exactly. Because that's a problem too.
How he introduced you?
Yes, this is my friend.
Well, that's
Wait,
not
what?
even, you ain't even his friend. This Brandy.
Right.
I'm gonna need something else with this, friend.
So put some on my name.
Respect on my name.
So there was some chasing involved, Miss Karen.
Pardon me?
There was some chasing involved.
I needed to know. Yep, I needed to know that he really was attracted. He wanted me. Yeah. Mhm.
Now, does he still chase you?
Girl, yes.
Girl.
It is. I'm like, serious? We've been married 37 years. It is funny. Yes.
That's why sister.
But I like it.
Get her hair done every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2
We
weeks.
got an appointment on Monday.
Because her hair messed up on the weekend and stuff. Now,
And I didn't mind.
I want you to give us some advice on how to remain chaseable.
How to remain chaseable.
Teach us something.
For one, just don't quit. Don't give up. When I had my second child, I had always said, I'm never going to wear the teen. That was my thing. I'm never going to wear size teen.
Okay.
And so when I had my second son, my first son, I was a 16. And I couldn't believe it. And so I was like, man, and I just settled and just didn't do anything. Just, I got up in the morning, I fed him, I cooked, I did whatever. But I didn't do anything to be super cute. I wore my glasses and just didn't do anything. And my mother was like, I think she's depressed. And anyway, my sister-in-law said, he didn't marry a sack of potatoes. So you got to do something. You got to do something. You got to do what you did when you got him. And I always remember that he did not marry a sack of potatoes. And so I just started, putting a little makeup on and just, I would wear these little frumpy dresses. I went to the store, I got out of the frumpy. I had to do it for me and then had to do it for him. I remember one time my mother said, now this is a whole nother conversation. I was saved. But when it came to my husband, I got married when I was 27. And I guess I felt like it wasn't gonna be anybody else. And so I had always said, I'm not gonna marry somebody that's not saved. That was number one on the list, ladies, number one on the list. Guess what? He was not saved. Oh. And I can remember my mother saying, you don't have to marry him now. She told me. And I had sex before marriage. And I was like, Ma, I gotta marry him because he saw my body. She was like, girl, do you know how many people have gotten married and people saw their body? I was like, he saw my body. I love my husband and he loves me. But I was outside of the will of God there. And so I always, got married and on the battlefield for the Lord. But right there, I fell off. Right before I said I do. It's the devil knows your weak point. So don't let him get you. Stay guarded. Yeah. Stay guarded. You couldn't have told me in a million years I would have married somebody that was not saved. You couldn't have told me. You couldn't have told my mother. You couldn't have told my brother. But it happened. Now, how did I get there? How did I get to this point? What was I about to tell you guys?
Sack of potatoes.
Yeah. How to stay
okay. So anyway, my mother was saying, she said, you got God, but there's nothing keeping him from going cheating on you. He doesn't have that same spirit. So you got to get it together. And so I thought about that, and I just started taking care of myself. And so in taking care of myself for him to make sure everything was right there, I take care of myself for me, because I just need to be healthy. I need to be good Karen. I need to be a good wife. I need to be the healthy parent. And so I think about that all the time. And then I think about predisposed things that my parents have, high blood pressure, diabetes, and all. And I don't want any of that. And so that's what keeps me on my health thing. And that's one thing. And then I'm still praying for my husband. He's saved in Jesus' name.
So I got a comment from Elder Walton on how to remain chasteful.
She wakes up early.
Now, not that one. It's another one. This last comment is what took me out. She said, during the day we talked, and he had to guess what color underwear I was wearing.
Oh, real nasty.
That's a mannish. Elder Walton a little mannish. No. So
Keep it spicy.
you kind of led us into another point, another question that I can ask. How important, and everybody else jump in, how important is Christ in your relationship? From past experiences, what was it like being unequally yoked, and how did you know? So how important is Christ, or was Christ, like when you started the relationship?
Christ is very important, and Christ should be very important. And you need to stay connected, because it's those times, those moments when you fall off, when you kind of slack up a little bit, when you, I was out of my parents' house. I had my own apartment. I didn't have to go to church every Sunday. And so it was those little moments, and I went to church, but it was those little moments where, I didn't plan to do the wrong thing, but it happened. And so Christ is so important. Your relationship with God is so important. I tell my kids, I tell everybody that I really talk to, it is so important that you have a relationship with God, and a daily one. At least be praying to him every day, talk to him every day. It is so important, because again, you could have never told me in a million years that I would have married somebody unsafe. Never.
Brandy, somebody is summoning you to come into this particular point.
So, as some people know, most people know, when I married my husband, he was actually a practicing Muslim. When we got married, at that point, I had been raised in church, but I was one of those people who was raised in church, but still did not have a true relationship with God. So it was important to, I was there 2-3 times a week, and I still, I was just showing up. And so for me, it was, he believes in God, it'll be fine. He doesn't want me to convert. I don't want him to convert. We'll be fine. We had an interdenominational ceremony and everything. And, as we progressed in the marriage, it did become a more of a sticking point, but it's actually my mom, and my mom isn't even married, but she said, you know what, listen, you married him, he's a good man, that he loves God, your life and your witness will bring him to God when it's time. And that's what happened. Like, I never ever pressured him to go to church. I would go to church. Me and the girls will go to church without him. And then like one day we were just sitting having dinner one day, and he was like, okay, I want to start going to church with you guys. I almost fell off the chair, because he was anti-Christianity, because he had such a bad experience with Christianity growing up. So he was not only, not Christian, like he wanted no parts of it whatsoever. So when he said, I want to start going to church with y'all, I was like, oh, well, let's go. And it took us a while to find a good fit. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so connected to Lifeline, because it truly, when I say it brought my family together, that's what it did for us.
So your life, you're saying that your life and your walk with God kind of won him over.
Amen. That's what
So at the house, while you were in the process of, displaying your life or whatever, were you truly living a life? Because sometimes we profess to be Christian, but we on the opposite end of it. So what do you think in your life kind of snapped for him? Did you say you were like not all the way living like you're supposed to live, but what do you think were some things you were doing, whether it's spiritual or physically, to that kind of clicked for him?
I know, and me and him have talked about this. I think one thing that he respected is that I never did pressure him. I wanted it to be his decision. I didn't want it to be, well, my wife wants me to do this, so I'm going to do it, because he has that kind of personality where if I ask him to do something more than once, he'll do it just because I want him to. And so I wanted to make sure it was his decision. So I think it was just that, and I think at the end of it, he wanted a united family too, and I think he also understood that, all churches aren't going to be the same, and even the Christian faith is not the same. And he's a researcher, so he started researching, and he was comparing the Quran and the Bible and all that too, and he saw all the similarities between the two. So I think it was a combination of all of that, but I think it was mostly, and he'll say that he appreciates that I didn't pressure him to make that conversion.
Yes.
Now,
we do have to live the life, and you're right. If I ask my husband, I don't know. I just try to live it. I try to live it. If you said that your husband would accommodate you, if I ask my husband, I guess it seems like I'm asking him, but if I ask him, he's gonna say no. I do not ask, but I do live the life. And he will try, like, even for this, he was like, okay, you got to do this. He helps me do whatever I need to do. And he's going to make sure everything is all right. But he hasn't visited us at Lifeline yet. I told him, even watching the service, he'll say, I can hear it. That's good. I can hear it. I can hear it.
It's funny because my mom and dad, my mom was saved and my dad wasn't. And he would say all the time, well, my wife in charge of salvation, She in charge of salvation around here.
That's not how that works, sir.
But he was the same way. He would help us, like, get ready for church, all of that stuff. He'll show up on the kids got a speech now.
Yes.
He coming for that. But towards the end, he and I know he was a believer. He believed in God. He just didn't, want to do that go to church deal. Mm-hmm. But he was, he believed in the way that he believed. But his answer was, my wife in charge of salvation. The kids can go to church and get the Bible lesson is what he said. And we got the Bible lesson,
Bible lesson.
Yeah.
I think it's really important for dating, if like when salvation or your moral beliefs come into play, don't just go based off of what they say. Like a man will tell you in a minute, yeah, I go to church, I believe in God, I'm on such and such ministry, yada yada yada. Go to church with that man. Do anybody know him? Can he speak to anybody else? No, at the church. At the church he said he goes to. You go to church. If you go to church. Sorry. You go to church. You go to church with him. Oh no, where did I go?
You're still here. We see.
I don't know where I'm at on the screen right now, but I'm gonna keep talking. So you go to church with him and see, do anybody know him? Do he know anybody else? Is it really what he's saying? And I really think that relationship with God is mainly what you want to be looking for, and not just somebody that say, yeah, I go to church. Because people go to church every Sunday and have no relationship, and relationship is so key, and it's so important. So important.
So, Team Shenanigans, how do you stay saved and not sin while you wait?
Well, right now it's easy because I'm not dating nobody.
Right.
But when I was dating, setting those boundaries were very important, being upfront. And then by me already having a child, people think you out here because, oh, you got a kid, so you doing it. So then when you tell them like, no, I'm not doing it anymore, you know, you got to set them boundaries because they automatically assume you done gave it up before, you're going to give it up again.
Courtney?
Balance. keeping my own identity. Because like it was one guy I was dating, and it was like he consumed a lot of my time. He knew I was supposed to be at church on this day, and this day. But these was the days he conveniently wanted to have like a date night or something like that. So like I would be like, okay, I'll skip this one church event and I go and date night with you. And so like it eventually became a problem because I was skipping, instead of being at the church house 3 times a week, I was at church a half a day. And then it just turned into more compromises. So I feel like as long as I maintain my balance and my identity, I think we talked about this at the top of the call, the little girl chat. I think as long as I maintain my identity and who I was, I think that's the best way for me to stay safe.
So
as best as I can.
Do you think that was a red flag for you? He was pulling you away from God?
Girl, when he told me that his mama had a relationship with God and he never addressed his relationship, that was a red flag. But
my mama got a relationship.
I was like, are you saved? He's like, my mom go to church all the time.
Ooh.
That wasn't the question. But we was having fun. So I knew we weren't getting married, but we was having fun. So yeah.
So Tiff.
Of course it was a red flag.
Yeah, it was a red flag, all right. You should have been at church 5 days a week and he pulled you down to 20 minute.
I gave you half a day.
You say what?
I gave you half a day.
that wasn't the will of God. You hear me? It wasn't.
That's why we love the 8 a.m. services in the summertime.
You know what? So you could get out in an hour and then do what you got to do. No. Tiff, I want you to answer that question.
Yeah, so I've been dating for 2 years now, and honestly, I would say the same thing Trina Courtney said, knowing your identity and establishing boundaries. Like I said, like first date, you know, we were establishing boundaries and all that stuff. And then like, it definitely gets like very challenging, like the longer that you're dating, but you can't forget who you are. And so I always like revert back to, okay, this is who I am. Like, these are my goals. Like, you still have to know the person that you are yourself outside of just your relationship. Like, I feel like if both people are very like whole and focused on who they are, it only makes the relationship better. And so, yeah, for us, like, it's always continuously like talking about boundaries, and it can get like challenging. Like, you know, you want to hang out all night and stuff. It's like, yeah, no, bro, you gotta go home. And so to keep yourself safe. But yeah, it's all about knowing who you are and keeping those boundaries. And I feel like it's much more important as you continue to date to make sure you don't fall off the bandwagon there.
But it's not even so much as about like being out at night now, like staying out past adulting hours. Because like things happen in the middle of the day now. So
that's true. Look, we're in quarantine.
You just have to like be more aware of yourself and what your tolerance is.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say too.
Yeah.
Know your tolerance.
Yeah.
Winter wear skirts.
What'd you say?
Did you say adulting hours?
You know the grown-up hours. You know what grown-up hours are.
They start at 10 p.m. 10 p.m.
Grown-up hours is grown-up hours.
I got you.
I think that goes, what you just said goes back to what Ms. Karen said about as far as the enemy knowing your weak points.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows that if I just keep hitting that, keep pushing at that, at first you'll be like, no, whatever.
Exactly.
Then fifth time, oh, whatever. And then the next time y'all doing whatever you got to do, so it's knowing the weak points and not putting yourself, I think somebody else said, not putting yourself in those predicaments, because the enemy, his job is to steal, kill, and destroy. So whatever he can do to get us outside of God or get us away from the will of God, that's what he's going to do. So by us knowing ourselves and knowing our thresholds for different things, that will help a lot, knowing those thresholds. So
we just got a comment that's really interesting. I would love to hear what the ladies think. It says Christian dating is only to determine if you guys are suited for marriage. It should not be a 5-year relationship. Thoughts about that?
We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, but
who is this coming for my life again?
Apparently.
Let me tell you something now.
I think it's to each his own as far as 5-year relationships. But you know what? I have like a counter question, and this is just kind of because I think we addressed the year thing. Like, it's to each his own for the year thing. Either you gonna date long or you're not. But why do we focus so much on that? Like, why don't we as Christians if we're supposed to be dating intentionally, why don't we have engagements instead of like, hey, you can have a longer engagement and then a marriage if that's for you, instead of dating long? You get what I'm saying? Like, why are we dating for 8 years if we know we're going to be together? Propose to me, take me off the market, and we can be engaged for a couple years. So let's work on what we're working on, I guess, and then get married. I don't know. I didn't stay engaged long, but that's neither here nor there. But it's just a thing that I thought about. Like, why do people date so long instead of just getting engaged? And then, because you're committed to that person, dating for years upon years, you're committed to that person. So why not make the commitment? I guess a man can only answer that question, though.
Yeah, because we're not going to ask him.
Because we're not proposing for nothing. Don't do that.
Nah, I'm not going to propose.
People
don't do that.
Propose. They propose.
But don't.
But we're not doing that.
We're not.
That's a no. That's a no.
Okay. So we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, which I think I'm going over the whole question because we did talk about it 2 weeks ago. So with that, you say, oh, I'm not going to ask him to marry me, but you shoot your shot?
Absolutely. Yeah. I sure will.
But you're not going to ask him to marry you?
No. Shooting your shot and asking to marry is a totally different thing. Shooting your shot is like
shooting my shot.
You can go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say shooting my shot is showing my interest.
Right.
That's totally different in me asking you to make a commitment to me.
A lifetime.
Because me shooting my shot might just be a summertime interest. It might not be forever. If I'm asking you to marry me, I'm talking about a whole commitment.
Yeah. I'm a sit-down friend, so I'm always shooting a shot. Like, if you see somebody from across the room and you too nervous, I'm going over there to talk to you. But my friend, like, I'm the shotter of the shooters. Like, I don't know the correct terminology, but I'm always shooting shots for my friends, for my and like before I got saved, like the more I drank, the more shots that I shoot. Yeah, whatever tense it was, I shot all the shots for my friends. Occasionally me, but everybody got a number when we left. If it was up to me.
Okay.
I'm not even social. But everybody got a number.
You say you're not even social, but everybody.
No, my regular state not social, but back in the day when I drank, everybody got a number.
Mm-hmm. So Kia, what were you explaining about shooting your shot? Because I still don't.
Okay, Paslin. Shooting your shot is not like, hey, let's go on a, hey, I think you're cute. Let's go on a date. That's asking somebody on a date. Mm-hmm. Shooting your shot is saying, hey, it's not even saying I'm interested. It's just showing I'm interested in whatever way you show it. So like shooting my shot could be like, okay, we all at a gathering or whatever. I see you, you see me. I may look at you a little longer than normal to let you know that you can come and approach me. I may smile at you. You know, I may even go as far as to wave, just a little. Hey, okay, that's enough. Not too much. You don't want to give them too much. Just a little bit, not too much.
That's okay.
Not too much. Like shoot your shot on social media. He posts a good picture. Maybe instead of just liking the first picture he just liked, go back on his timeline and like another one. So he knows on his page. I like what I see, but I'm not DMing you to let you know I like. But you see me liking your pictures. You see me, and if you see me and you want to talk to me, you come in my DMs. You meet me over there. You know what I'm saying?
But you have to go to his DM.
That's what I did with John. Nobody asked about that.
Slide in the DMs.
Slide in the DM. Lex Mo.
I'm not sliding in no DMs. I'm gonna let you know that you can slide in mine by liking your picture. If I was single, I'm gonna like your picture so you can see me seeing you. And if you like what you see on my page, if I got enough pictures, or if you just see me on my story, you come in. If you're not bold enough to slide in my DMs, you're not together. You got to be bold with me. That's on my list, boldness.
Wait a minute, you said they have to DM you?
I'm not. If I was a single woman, I'm not DMing no man. You can.
Very good. Very good. Right.
I would not DM him. I would, like I said, I'm gonna like, or like there's a Instagram story. If you can reply to the story like, ha ha ha, that was funny. And if he continues the conversation, and you want to the conversation, but I'm not never finna slide in your DM and be like, hey, I think you're cute. You want to be my boo? No.
So basically, what Alicia Keys did, and you don't know my name, we're not doing that. We're not calling him saying we giving you extra milk in your coffee.
I like you, boss.
I see you, and you see me, and we see each other. Type of situation.
I like that. I think that's very good. I think you need to shoot your shot like that. Yep. Hey.
A subtle shot.
You like Tim.
No, don't shoot the bullet. Shoot the little pellet first.
Yes.
Get the BB gun.
BB gun.
Sure they see your head.
Appreciate this. Get the BB. Get the pellet first, not the bullet. Pellets.
So Lex asked about sliding in the DM. Now she just asked another question. She said, because the Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good thing, is it counterintuitive for a woman to shoot their shot?
Context. Oh my God. Just because I shot my shot does not mean that he has not found me.
He got to see where the bullet came from.
Different. It's fine. I mean, on the surface level, hide, seek, you found, but like, what does it really mean to be found? I feel like when I say who finds a wife, that means you know me. You found something, not just that you like physically, but like you like they're more. You get to know a person when you found a person. You just don't.
That's good.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like,
find it doesn't say.
I can pick up a penny and throw it down, but did I put it in my wallet? I found it when I put it in my wallet, not when I picked it up.
That's good.
Somebody just asked a question. Mimi asked the question, what about the statement, I'm single until I'm married? It seems like no one talks about dating to find who you want to date with intent.
That's good.
So I think that kind of wraps into that. Like, everybody jumps into the, we shooting a shot, now we married. Like there's
no.
Chunks and pieces that are missing. There's pieces that are missing in between that. Right? I think we get to that shoot your shot, he who finds a wife, they put it like all together where it's like pieces from what they're saying. It sounds like it's pieces to it prior to getting it.
It's a process. You can shoot your shot and find out. You can shoot your shot and find out this is not the person for me. Shooting the shot is just, this. I find somebody. Maybe this is somebody I want to talk to. Maybe it's not. And that's what the shooting the shot is, as far as I'm concerned. It wouldn't go any deep. Anything deeper is something more than shooting the shot.
And like, there's something different between talking and dating.
Exactly.
So when you're in that single part, if you're trying to figure out who you want to date with intention, you're talking. We're not dating.
That's right.
We're talking. And then I'm gonna pick the one that I want to date because I don't know. That would just be me. I'm gonna talk to whoever. I'm gonna pick the one I want to go on a date with because I ain't got all the time in the world to go on 7 dates. So I like this one the best. We're gonna talk to this one. We're gonna see where this go. and then intentional dating, if that's the course for you, I guess.
You know, back 25 plus years ago, we used to ignore the man. I wasn't waving and doing all that. I was ignoring him. And maybe I shot a shot if I look, you know, you give him a little glance or whatever, and then you ignore him. Now, ladies nowadays, they ain't ignoring them. They DMing or letting them DM you or whatever. It's totally different.
But were you shooting your shot when you was ignoring? Were you indirectly shooting your shot? Were you like, I don't see you, I see you?
Well, I guess I wasn't forward with it.
It was a subtle shot. It was a BB gun.
Playing shot girl.
You said I was what?
A BB gun shot.
It was a BB gun shot.
So maybe shooting shot is different in my day than it is today.
Correct.
Shooting shots for y'all was ignoring. I don't see you. I don't see you until you see me. Now it's just kind of like
we really did see him.
Right. So like I said, so y'all shooting shot was a subtle shot. Y'all had a BB gun. 2020 shooting shot is the pellets in the real gun.
Okay. Now I got several ladies on here saying they thank God that they happily married, and I'm one of them. It's hard to deal with so much stuff now.
So much.
It was a meme on Facebook that say these can't be all the men that God got left. He got to be having some in the back. It got to be some more that have in the back stock. We waiting on them to restock because
these ain't it.
These 2020, I don't know where they came from.
You know what? I'm raising up 2 godly men.
Amen.
But you know what I think about? Sometimes, you know, the age difference. When I see like when you get older, it doesn't seem so much different. But an 80-year-old marrying a 60-year-old don't seem so bad at 80 and 60. But I drilled down to birth, and I'm like, it's as if I was 20 looking at a baby and saying I'm gonna marry them. I said that to say that there are young boys that are being raised up.
I tried to get Courtney in the family, but Justin turned her down. I tried to get in the family.
Trina, you're done.
You're done. You were gonna be my daughter-in-law.
Courtney face.
Have y'all felt like that though?
No.
Y'all think like that or just me?
No, I thought about that.
I'm like,
I thought about that too though.
So like when he was a baby, I'm looking at him like, oh, I could marry you. I'm 20. It's like, oh, it don't seem right. But God is raising up the young men, you know. I think that's how he's replenishing the men. but
so what I'm supposed to do in between time.
No, I think too that there are men, I always say this, there are men out there, but I believe sometimes they could be hidden in plain sight.
Yes.
Because they're getting themselves together. Because if you find them or if you see them and they, you know, their veil is removed before the time, it's a mess. But I believe there are men out there that are hidden in plain sight. But sometimes ladies are too eager to look for them, and you rush past the ones that are hidden in plain sight. That's just my take on it.
That's true.
Or withheld for a particular reason. I think for prom, I was looking for a prom date, and Trey was looking for a prom date. And a mutual friend of ours that we had not known each other, but a mutual friend of ours was supposed to help us find a prom date. And I was supposed to be his prom date, and he was supposed to be my prom date, but it never happened. And I was like, I'm glad it never happened, because back in my high school days, I was a little player on just a little bit. And I probably would have, I probably would have taken advantage of you. Like, you're such a good guy. I probably would have just played you to the left a little bit, and you wouldn't be my man today. Where would we be?
Where would you be?
Loretta Davidson on the live said the Cougars are taking the young men.
That's what it is.
That's
what it is. That's what the real issue is.
So, Karen, give us some insight on on what, because you will be considered a cougar. So give us some insight on kind of what, I mean, is that a bad thing?
I think we all can be cougars. I think we all at cougar age.
What's cougar age?
You.
Whoa.
Yes, you can be a cougar.
Oh, you don't know how old I am? I'm not old enough to be a
40 plus is cougar age. Matter of
You
fact,
are cougar
30,
age.
37 plus is cougar age.
Oh, no,
Are
that mom was
cougar age.
cool. 40.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay, so Sharetta, give me some advice on if you were to be a cougar, like you married. So give me some advice you would have as being a cougar. I mean, I didn't know I was a cougar.
First off, I think if you got a PlayStation or something, you should be good.
Oh.
No, I don't know. I can't even tell you. I don't know why anybody would want to date some young guy, you know. But I think it's to each his own preference.
Wow.
I know some chicks that are my age who have dated younger guys. I know somebody who's married to a younger guy, like 10 years younger.
See,
but I feel like you know, they got married, you know, when she was like in her 30s, he was in his 20s. But I think, you know, one of the things was he left straight from his mama house to her house. And she just became, to me, you know.
Mama number 2.
She became his mama?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Exactly.
Oh.
But I mean,
I'm still stuck on how I can be a cougar. I'm not old enough.
You are old enough to be a cougar.
Just accept it, Pastor London. Just
We
accept
ain't call you no saber-tooth tiger.
Yes, you can have a 22-year-old boyfriend, a 25-year-old boyfriend. Yes, you can. Think about it. Cougar age. You are cougar age.
You're a cougar.
I'm ready to go now. That just stumped me. Okay, so 37 and up could be cougars.
60 and up is saber-tooth tiger.
Get out of here.
Okay.
It's okay.
Saber-tooth tiger.
It's a little more intense.
Okay. So, Sharetta, you mentioned we're gonna do probably one more. I want to get one more question in. You mentioned about the cougar, and now he went from his mama's house to her house. So I think we should kind of maybe explain to the unmarried maybe how or some ways that we can be supportive as wives, but not suffocating like we're his mom.
Absolutely.
That's good.
So what are some ways that we can do that? Especially if you're a cougar, you know, you got him right from his mama house, you know, how can you be his wife and not his mom?
Well, I think when you get married, there is some growing, right? There's some growing that you're going to do together.
Exactly.
Right? Like, you know, just kind of getting an understanding of how marriage works, how these things go down, you know, what we need to do. Then we need to come together with a plan of, like, you know, financial plan and all of this stuff. Like, there's some growing, especially if you didn't live together prior to, which you shouldn't be doing, but, you know, some people have, you know, there needs to be a plan in place and not being so, you know, I think sometimes women can want men children, right? I want you to be the man, but I also want you to sit on the bed and wait for your clothes just like the kids. You know, just like balancing that out. That, like, you can't be on top of them like, I need you to do this, I need you to do this, and you know, allow him to lead the house. And one of the things you always talked about in Winning Wives is going to God on your behalf for him. You know what I'm saying? Instead of you sitting here just browbeating him or nagging him, you know, go to God and let God handle it, as opposed to you just sitting there, you know, turning into his mom, you know, and being a nagger. Nobody wants to do that.
That's the truth.
You know, you mentioned something good, and Consuela said something similar. She says sometimes women like them young to control and mold them.
Same reason why men like them young.
Absolutely.
To mold and control.
And that goes back to like childhood stuff. Like that's something else that happened probably in their lifetime. And that's kind of that they haven't healed from. So they feel like they have to always be in control over something or someone.
I was watching this, like, I don't know what show it was, probably something on TLC. And this young boy was like, I only date like 70-year-old plus women or whatever. And I think it was because he had like some mom issues or something back in the day where he wasn't like cared for and stuff. And so these women kind of like fill that void in a sense. And so, yeah, I guess you got to be cautious of the why.
He's trying to get somebody's life insurance.
That's
maybe that too.
He wants
Maybe
the
that
policy.
shit.
Security check.
Oh, that's funny. But people do it though.
They do.
They really do.
you were saying, Sharita was saying, she said two things. Lord have mercy, just that fact. Okay,
Man,
Lord, let it come back. I forgot. Being the cougar. Oh, control. I remember when we got married, my husband told me, I do not want a nagging wife. And so I asked, what is a nagging wife? Because I found out that what I think is nagging, somebody else may think totally different. I was in a couples fellowship, and the husband said, my wife gives me these honey-do lists. Well, I never gave my husband a honey-do list, and not to my knowledge. Anyway, she gives me these honey-do lists, and I know that on Saturdays I've got to do this and 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 this. And he said he didn't like honey-do lists, and he called that a form of nagging. So there are things that you really need to establish early in a relationship, or early in your marriage. These are things that you're going to do. Again, you have to have the same understanding. I found out what he knew, what he thought nagging was. I made sure I don't do that. I don't do that. I'm not going to ask you to do this and then ask you again and then ask you again. And sometimes I think I'm reminding him, I would think I'm reminding him, or I'll even say, Charles, this is a reminder. You said you were going to do blase, 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 but it's only so much that I can do of that, I think. And he might get angry. So you've got to establish some things. You got to find out what nagging is.
I think we know. The same way that we don't want anybody to continually remind us to do something, right?
Or the honey-do list. I didn't think this couple said he thought the honey-do list was a nag. I didn't understand that to be a nag, but he's like the honey-do list. And so
maybe he was thinking in the context of, it's Saturday. Now every Saturday you'll come drop down a whole list on me, and I've been working on it. Now that's the way I would think. I'd be like, now listen.
I need a day off.
But it's things that you need to establish. You need to have the same understanding. I think how you're going to handle monies. You need to have the same understanding on how you're going to do something.
But sometimes those things change. So
you need to
revisit those conversations. So like with the nagging piece, because I don't like to be reminded of things that I already know I have to do anyway. I list things. I got this. Okay. And I set reminders. I got it. I got the whiteboard and the calendar. I got this. But sometimes like you may need to be reminded. So like what I do as far as like the nag, so to make sure that I'm not nagging, I've been asking Trey, like I'll be like, okay, so if you don't want me to remind you in this way, well, you need to be reminded how you want me to remind you. Because apparently I don't know. Like, how can I help you help us help we?
Help me help you.
Help me help you help us together. Right. Is a conversation that we've had to have. Like, and that's about like reminding, not nagging, even just when in our talk, like trigger words between the two of us, like don't say inconsiderate. because I'm not an inconsiderate person, so maybe that's not the word that you use with me. You use another word, and I could just a word that I say. Well, you didn't think about all of these things. The same thing, same definition, but not saying inconsiderate because that's a trigger word. So it's just about
saying all the time.
Oh,
right.
You never always do it.
I don't always.
I'm living from that all the time demon. I don't say that no more. I'm so sorry.
But you know what? You get stuck. You get stuck in the always and never and not even go to the issue. It's like, I don't always do that. I don't never do this. Yeah.
I think it's about revisiting those conversations, and then just, like this quarantine has been great for my marriage. I don't know, about just talking about all types of stuff. We have so much to talk about, and just hearing each other's heart on certain things has been like really, really great for us. And I feel like we've made a lot of progress in regards to our communication. It wasn't terrible or bad or anything, but as far as being considerate in our communication, as far as, is this the right time to bring this to you? And am I using the right words? And am I using the right tone? Because I'm very blunt. Even in my face, I'm like, I do understand what you're saying, but my face is like, you're not making no sense, buddy. So I feel like I've been a little bit more intentional about the way I communicate what I'm saying and how I'm saying it.
Marriage is it's a living organism, and we change as we get older, and so because of the change, you have to keep communication going. Again, I am a teen. Remember, I told you all, I said I wasn't going to be the teen girl. I am a teen girl. And so, you just have to adjust as you get older, as you grow in your marriage, as you grow, period, you have to adjust. And so the communication will change. The guy that I married when I was 27 is not the same guy that I'm married to at 64. But I still love him with all my heart. Yes, I do. And so, you talk and you change, and because it's a living organism, it changes. And so you do too. And you have to be in communication all of the time.
Yeah, that's good. Constant communication. And we talk about that, how you never stop communicating. So that's one thing that's like the bare bones necessity of any relationship, whether it's marriage or friendship or whatever. That's a bare bone necessity. So that communicating is good, but it takes, I guess, both of us communicating is even better. But I think tonight has been good. We have some comments, but if I bring out the comments, we'll be on here for another hour. We have already been on here for like an hour and 45 minutes. So I want to kind of wrap up. Did anybody want to share anything in closing? Any last comments you want to get out or wish you had got out during this time? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
I think settings like these, even though we're in quarantine now, that having a Winning Women team that not only focuses on marriage, but also the singles, is very good for single women, because we have the different aspects. You have what to look forward to. We even have the what not to do. And even in general conversation, it's how to live as a woman as well. So I think platforms like Winning Women is great for all women, single, married. So grateful for you.
Enjoying yourself, huh?
Yeah.
We're gonna tip y'all on the back.
What you say, Sharetta?
We're gonna tip y'all on the back end. Stop by my house and get some cake tomorrow.
Right.
What time?
Cake.
I too would like some cake.
Right.
Me 3 would like some cake. Anybody else want to share?
I would say I have not been married very long, and I was not single when it was the age for me to date and stuff. I wasn't single for very long, but for a single woman, I would say, don't despise this time of singleness. It's a very precious time, and use this time for you, because this is the time. If you are meant to be married, because everybody's not even meant to be married. If you are even meant to be married, if you're not meant to be married or you are, Use this time for you to sharpen you, be about you. Because when you are married, you do have to be about somebody else and somebody else's business, y'all together. And it's totally different from being just about you. And just don't, I mean, the boxes are great. I like to check boxes too, but they aren't everything. You are everything, you know, and just cherish that time. I mean, even Jesus is like the most important man we talk about, and he was single. I'm just saying. So think about it that way. He got married to, God was married to church. Jesus was single. And y'all be blessed. The Lord watch between me and thee.
While we're absent, one from another, watch.
Amen.
Anybody else want to share something before we get off of here?
You hear music came up. All right.
Okay. Well, I think that tonight has been good. And I know, like you said, Latrina, I think it's not just for marriage, it's for the woman as a whole, for the woman, the wife, the mother, and that encompasses the whole woman. So you can be all three, you can be two, or you can just be one, you know. So I think I like using these platforms to kind of encourage the ladies, but we also need encouraging as well, just to know that, hey, we're not just on here doing anything. What we're doing, what we're chatting about, what we're sharing is being a blessing. So it's good to hear that. That's encouraging to know, because I think a couple of weeks ago, it was almost like we were going, disband the group. And it was sounding like we was disbanding. I'm like, wait, what's going on? We're not doing this no more. What's going on? So I think even as the world is opening back up and everything. I think tonight was a good night because it was raining. It was raining some.
That's what. Didn't he send the rain for us?
It was raining. Then it got real light out here. I'm like, well, what is really going on? I had to look out the window or whatever. But I think people are when the world is open, people gonna be going out and doing different things. So we do have to make sure that we're still be effective if we still keep our Friday night live chat. But I think we've been doing this since middle of April, I believe we have. Mm-hmm. So it's been a great thing. So with that, we're gonna let you ladies go. But before we let you go, I want you, and we say this every week, we want you to give to Winning Women. When the world opens back up, and not just when it opens back up, but when we feel it's safe for us to gather, we have some awesome things that are planned. We have a couple events that have been put on hold. And we like to do events. We like our Denim and Heels is supposed to be coming up in September. So we kind of up in the air about that, not sure. But whenever we get back together, we will be doing it. So make sure you're giving to Winning Women. There are several ways to give that's on the screen now. And then today is Friday. Tomorrow, Married Life, we're having a virtual game night. So we're going to be having fun on the virtual screen. That's what we're doing right now. We're not gathering. So we're having that on tomorrow. And then on Sunday, we have the final part of the series that we've been doing around racism and faith and justice. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night. What time is it, Sharetta?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. So we're giving you time to go.
Adulting hours.
You said what?
Adulting hours.
Adulting hours. So we're giving you time on a Saturday to go out and do what you got to do and be back home so you can be in front of the computer playing games with your spouse or with your boyfriend, your significant other. And so we'll be doing that, and make sure on Sunday that you tune in as well. So ladies, I know you're still here. So make sure you give us some likes, give us some hearts or something just to let us know that you enjoyed tonight. And then also, I want you ladies to let us know what you want to talk about. So somebody told us a while back that they wanted to talk about the married, kind of giving advice to the unmarried. So that's kind of how we fashioned it these last 2 weeks. well, we had the week in between, but we fashioned it like that. So let us know some things that you want to chat about, and we will take that into consideration. You like how I said, take that into consideration?
I like it. We will.
So listen, ladies, it has been a pleasure. To all of our YouTube followers, we thank you for coming on faithfully every Friday. Our Facebook ladies, we thank you for faithfully coming on Fridays. And we also have ladies that are on the website, the mobile app. We thank you for tuning in just to get refreshed, just to get some laughs. We had some laughs tonight, but I believe we had a lot of knowledge on tonight, things that you can take, whether you're married or unmarried. You can take these tools and you can grow. One of the things I think I'm going to put into practice what Elder Yolanda said about having them guess what color underwear I have on. But that would mean that he would have to not see me put it on in the morning. So I have to figure out how to do that. You know.
She rises early.
Yeah, she said she gets up, showers, and gets dressed before he wakes up.
Yeah,
I said, plus you go out
to get the breakfast.
And you got to cook breakfast.
Right.
Oh, why?
And greets him smiling.
Okay, so I don't cook breakfast. He cooks the breakfast. He gets up earlier than me, so that's already shot. So I have to figure out something else to do.
She done put on a face full of makeup, an evening gown. Got a train. What you doing?
Coming to America.
Please, we walking around here with no bras on. What's really going on?
Talk about it, buddy.
Free.
Give us free. Come on.
You all better put those bras on. I'm telling you, gravity will have to lift them up. Gravity is at work.
Listen, the little boy already broke mine. It's all right.
What you say?
What did you say?
I said, my mom talked about me so bad with this. I said they meant to one day, even if you wear a bra all your life, one day they gonna
fall. Exactly.
So whatever. That's what the bra made for when they do sag. I'm gonna lift them up.
I am lifted up.
Well, I'm gonna pay to get them lifted, but until
Hello.
that's the only way I'm having another baby.
Girl, no.
She gonna pay to get them lifted?
I said either I'm gonna wear the bra when I feel like it to lift them up, or either I'm gonna pay to get them lifted, but they gonna fall one day, so I'm gonna let them fall. I like to be comfortable. I'm gonna fall.
Yeah.
All right. All right then. Keep on living. That's what my mama told me. I didn't understand what she was talking about, but I'm here to tell you today. Keep on living.
Keep on living. Get you a tighter bra, ladies. All right. So listen, tonight has been awesome. If you want that with some extra cushion that lets you shoot out or something, I don't know. But tonight has been amazing. And so if you have just jumped on and you haven't been able to watch it, go back, watch the replay, share it. Make sure you let somebody know, hey, we had fun on Girl Chat tonight. So if there's nothing else, we have done it under 2 hours this week. Let's go. We got 6 minutes to go.
And you only on your second close, Pastor London.
Right.
You think I am. I don't know why I've been doing that. I'm on my second close. But yeah, so this no. I'm gonna let y'all go for real because I'm in school and I got to finish a paper tonight by 11:59. So yeah.
So can I ask you a question? When you start your paper?
Right.
When she get off?
When she get off of here?
when she end this?
Yeah. No, I'm serious. I've been really busy with work and with school, so I'm trying to mesh the two. So I have a paper that's due at 11:59. I probably won't get it in at 11:59, butIng been doing good. So if I lose a few points, I'll be all right. So maybe I would give myself until tomorrow to turn it in, and my professor won't ding me for it. So, but if you do, I got A's on all my other assignments, so just a little bit, you know.
You gonna get in. You gonna get it in
tonight.
Tonight.
I gotta get that in, and I gotta get something else in. So I gotta see what I'm gonna do.
It's a couple hours here, couple hours there, it'll be done.
No, y'all don't get what I'm saying. And maybe y'all shouldn't get what I'm saying. So I've been putting my third clothes. Huh?
I want to hear. What are you saying?
I'm saying I've been
we'll see y'all next time.
I've been working all day, and I don't want to spend the rest of the night working on the school.
I
I
understand.
have to
Want to
work
put in some
something
work
else.
somewhere else.
Right. So,
Living life.
so I can lose a couple points on my paper and get it in tomorrow.
Because it's adulting hours. I got you.
I approve.
I gotta remain chaseable.
There you go.
So back to my third close, for real. This is it, and I have wasted. Well, not wasted. We do be talking good. It's 8:56. It was just what 8:53, and I said, yeah. You know how you go off on a tangent and then you forget where you're going. But whatever. I think it's been good. Y'all think it's been good?
It's been good. Go in there and ask Pastor Reggie if you're a cougar.
See,
Please don't.
on that note,
Yes.
on that note, it's time to go because I am not a cougar.
Ask him.
You're trying to mess up your plans for tonight.
Right.
They told me on this call that I was a cougar, or I could be a cougar.
You're cougar age.
Cougar
Yes,
age. That sounds better. Because I ain't, yeah, cougar age.
We are not cougars. No.
Right.
Saber-tooth
No,
tiger.
saber-tooth tiger.
Wait a
He had
minute.
the nerve to say
Why?
saber-tooth tiger.
Why did Kia put a picture of a saber-tooth tiger in the chat?
Did you?
That took me out. I'm like, now she did put a picture of a saber-tooth tiger in the chat.
Crazy.
I had
That's why.
time today.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Okay, closing number 4, for real. For real, y'all. I got to go. I got to go do some work. So it's been real. I love you all. And as I say each time we leave, I love you, Bobby. Y'all know where that's from, right? Whitney and Bobby.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
I love you, Bobby.
I'm gonna start saying, I love you, Reggie. I'm gonna start saying that. That's who is Bobby.
Right.
He's playing the music. It's time to go. Good night, ladies. Thank you.
Good night.
Oh, wow.